Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me today for the Office of the State Superintendent of Education National School Lunch Program Equipment Assistance Grant informational webinar. As we go through the presentation today, everyone is going to be muted on the call, but please feel free to type any questions that you have into the chat box as we go through the presentation. And at the end of the presentation, when we get to the questions and answers, I will answer all of the questions that are asked during the webinar. Background on the grant. So the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2019 provides grants to the Office of the State Superintendent of Education, Division of Health and Wellness, to provide equipment assistance to school food authorities participating in the National School Lunch Program. The District of Columbia has been selected to receive funding in the amount of $70,451. The Healthy Schools Act of 2010 allows OSSE to issue grants through a competitive process to public schools and public charter schools for the acquisition of school kitchen equipment. OSSE is adding an additional $29,549 of Healthy Schools Act funds to the FY 2020 NSLP Equipment Assistance Grant for a total funding amount of $100,000. The Equipment Assistance Grant funds can be a significant asset by allowing the purchase of capital equipment used to serve healthier meals, meet nutritional standards with an emphasis on more fresh fruits and vegetables in school meals, improve food safety, and expand accessibility to food services. Equipment requests may include new equipment, renovation of current equipment, or replacement of equipment. Who is eligible to apply? Eligible applicants are participants of the National School Lunch Program who are District of Columbia Public Schools, nonprofit private schools located in the District of Columbia, public charter school campuses chartered by the District of Columbia Public Charter School Board. SFAs that are applying from multiple campuses must submit a separate application for each campus you are applying for. And awards will be made at the campus level, not the SFA level. In order to make the most effective use of grant funds, equipment requests must address at least one of the following focus areas. The first is equipment that lends itself to improving the quality of school food service meals that meet the dietary guidelines. For example, purchasing an equipment alternative to a deep fryer or steam oven. The second is equipment that improves the safety of food served in the school meal program. For example, cold or hot holding equipment, dishwashing equipment, refrigeration, etc. The third is equipment that improves the overall energy efficiency of the school food service operation. For example, purchasing an energy efficient freezer to replace an outdated energy demanding freezer. The fourth is equipment that allows sponsors to support expanded participation in a school meal program. For example, purchasing equipment for serving meals in a non-traditional setting or better utilizing the cafeteria space. And finally, equipment that aids in strategies for adopting smarter lunchroom techniques. For example, changes to the lunchroom that appeal to student population, highlighting convenient, healthy choices, and supporting menu changes to healthier options. For the purpose of this grant, equipment means non-expendable, tangible personal property with a useful life of more than 1 year and a per unit acquisition cost of $1,000 or greater. Again, equipment requests may include new equipment, renovation of current equipment, or replacement of equipment. Smallware items such as trays and plates, utensils, pans, containers, and the like will not be considered for this grant. Allowable costs include the equipment cost, tax for the equipment purchased, installation cost of the equipment purchased through the grant as well. The grant period ends on September 30th, 2021, and all funds must be obligated before this date. Funds will be distributed through a competitive process that is fair and equitable. Grant requests may not be fully funded and may be approved for partial funding. The total funding for this grant is $100,000. The minimum award amount is $1,000, and the maximum award amount per application is $25,000. OSSI anticipates awarding 7 to 12 grant applicants. An applicant may request funds for more than one piece of equipment, but the total funding request for any one application per campus may not exceed $25,000 total. If multiple pieces of equipment are requested, an applicant must rank the requested equipment according to need within the application. This ranking will assist OSSI in determining what equipment request to support if an application is partially funded. Continuation funding. All awards are made for a period of up to 2 years as defined by the grant period. However, if all funds are not expended by September 30th, 2020, applicants awarded funds will be required to complete and submit a continuation application prior to being awarded continuation funds in year 2. The continuation application will be online in OSSI's eGMS system. Information regarding the application will be communicated to recipients prior to the end of the program period of year 1. Continuation of awards into year 2 is contingent upon availability of funds, the subrecipient completing closeout for year 1, compliance with district and federal laws, regulations, and guidance, operation of the grant program submitted in the application, the appropriate expenditure of funds throughout the grant award period, and the completion of a continuation grant application. Reporting requirements. Schools awarded grant funds will be required to provide the following documentation upon expenditure and request for reimbursement: signed confirmation of adherence to procurement rules, invoices detailing the item purchased, including shipping and handling, installation charges, and the date of delivery or installation, as well as the date the equipment was installed, evaluation questionnaire, and any reporting requirements from USDA. Per USDA requirements, grantees are required to complete quarterly reports. The data you will report includes the type of equipment purchased, accomplishments and challenges in expenditure activities, the impact of the purchased equipment on the school food service operation, reasons for any unliquidated funds, and potential return of equipment. All applications must be submitted using the Enterprise Grants Management System. The application has the following sections: a project overview, a project justification, a budget overview, detailed planning expenditure, supporting documentation, and assurances. Please note 3 quotes are required for each piece of equipment requested within the application. You also must agree to and save assurances and central data in eGMS before you're able to submit a grant application. If you have or need any technical assistance, please reach out to the OSSI eGMS Help Desk directly, and they're available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No paper applications will be accepted. Grants are reviewed and scored by an external peer review panel. Priority will be given to high-need schools where 50% or more of the student population are eligible to receive free or reduced price meals in the 2018-19 school year. Priority will also be given to schools that did not receive a prior NSLP equipment assistance grant. Competitive preference. As we talked about on the last slide, USDA provides a competitive preference to select applicants based on the school free and reduced rate and if the school is a previous grantee. Additionally, the Division of Health and Wellness will provide a competitive preference to DC Public Schools and DC Public Charter Schools that earned 1 or 2 stars on the DC STAR framework, who have not received an NSLP equipment grant in the previous 5 years. OSSI intends to award at least 50% of the FY 2020 funds to applicants from the competitive preference school. This is a reimbursement grant, and all reimbursements must be submitted through EGMS and include supporting documentation. Important dates to note for the application. The application opened on October 9th. Today, October 17th, is the informational webinar. On October 22nd at 3:00 p.m., the pre-application question period ends, meaning after October 22nd at 3:00 p.m., specific questions regarding the grant from applicants will not be able to be answered. On October 31st, 2019, an FAQ page will be published on the OSSI website along with a recording of this webinar. The FAQ document will include all questions that are asked during the pre-application question period. On November 22nd at 3:00 p.m., the application submission deadline. All applications must be submitted by 3:00 p.m. on November 22nd, 2019. In December of 2019, award notices will be sent, and on September 30th, 2021, the grant period ends. I'm now going to go through and answer all of the questions that have been asked. I see one question, is this only for the DC area? And the answer is yes, this is only for schools who are participating in the National School Lunch Program in the District of Columbia. Does anybody else have any questions? If so, please type them into the chat box within the webinar. I just got a question, if 3 quotes are required, not bids. That is correct. The quotes that you submit for this grant can be quotes that you get screenshotted from a website online. It can be an actual bid or quote that you get from a vendor if that's the route that you choose to go, but you are able to submit screenshots from different websites showing how much the equipment will cost. We also understand that there may be a difference in the cost from the time that you get those quotes to when you actually purchase. We just ask for the quote up front so that we have an estimate of how much that equipment is going to cost. The PowerPoint deck from this, I can post prior to October 31st. I can actually work on getting that up on the OSSI website. It will likely be up on Monday. There's a question if you can use the grant on previously purchased equipment. Yes, you can use this grant to renovate equipment that you already have in the school that is used for the school meal program. Question is, do we have to use the vendor with the lowest cost amount? Yes, you would have to go with the vendor that has the lowest cost based on the quotes that you get and that you submit with the application. Any other questions? Maximum, the question is there a maximum number of applications we can submit? No, you can submit 1 application for each school campus that you have within your SFA. So yes, you, let's say that you have 10 campuses within your SFA, you can submit an application for each campus. The applications have to be separate for each campus. And as stated earlier, each application cannot be above $25,000, or $25,000 is the maximum allowable. The question is, does every piece of equipment that I want have to have 3 quotes? And the answer is yes. Beginning this year, you have to submit 3 quotes for each piece of equipment that's requested within the application. Again, a quote can be a screenshot from a website. It can be a professional quote that you get. It's up to you, as long as you have something to show what the estimated cost will be and that you're getting that cost from 3 different sources. Are there any other questions right now? Again, you have until, I will pull this back up. You have until October 22nd at 3:00 p.m. to ask any questions that you have regarding the grant. And again, after October 22nd, I won't be able to answer specific questions about the grant. However, on October 31st, I will post an FAQ document on the OSSI website that will have every question that's been asked and the answer to all of the questions.